Discover the extraordinary fragrance Ariana Grande REM Cherry Eclipse. Delight in black cherry jubilee, sugared honeysuckle, marshmallow meringue, and glowing amber. Get the perfect fragrance. Ariana Grande's REM Cherry Eclipse, exclusively at Ulta Beauty.
Say hello to the all-new Alexa Plus and see how Alexa can do so much more for you. Need tickets to see your favorite artist? Craving your comfort restaurant? Just sit back, relax, and talk naturally. Alexa's on it. It learns your style, anticipates what's next, and makes it happen across Echo, Fire TV, and more. Learn more at amazon.com/new Alexa.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the meeting between Trump and Zohran Mamdani is hours away. Get this. I just learned that the House of Representatives, at the very same time that this meeting is taking place, I guess it's no coincidence, will be debating whether or not to condemn socialism during Mamdani's visit. He, of course, is a self-professed Democratic Socialist. And in fact, voted on the Working Family Party's line, on the socialist line, if you will, as opposed to a Democratic line when he even voted for himself for mayor. But the House of Representatives debating socialism, they will be interesting to see how many Democrats will be voting and condemning socialism. I'll be really curious. What will Ilhan Omar do? What will some of these members of the so-called squad do on the vote of socialism? Will they say that's a great thing? It's been a real big success in places like Cuba and Venezuela. So boy, oh boy, it is definitely going to be a historic day tomorrow in Washington. We'll be covering a lot of that tomorrow night. I can't wait to see this moment. Oh my goodness, guys. And of course, Zohran Mamdani saying he's not concerned about his meeting tomorrow with Donald Trump. President Trump gracious enough, and I say that because he's the president of the United States, and he maybe has to do a little bit of schooling on Zohran Mamdani, who seems to be like, oh, I'm going to the White House, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. He's not even the mayor of New York City yet, and he seems to be puffing his chest. Remember when he won the night he said, turn the volume up, Trump. I know you're watching me. A little pompous. So maybe it's a time for Donald Trump to put him a little bit in his place because he is the president, the leader of the free world, and the feds do hold the purse strings. And here is Zohran Mamdani talking about this meeting, saying he's willing to meet with President Trump. He's the one asked for the meeting, but he's willing to talk to anyone. Listen to Mandani today talking about this meeting that's going to happen in a matter of hours.
They wanted a leader who would take on the cost of living crisis that makes it impossible for working people to afford living in this city. My team reached out to the White House to set up this meeting because I will work with anyone to make life more affordable for the more than 8.5 million people who call this city home. I have many disagreements with the president, and I believe that we should be relentless and pursue all avenues and all meetings that could make our city affordable for every single New Yorker. I intend to make it clear to President Trump that I will work with him on any agenda that benefits New Yorkers. If an agenda hurts New Yorkers, I will also be the first to say so.
And then he had the audacity to kind of say him and Trump, well, they're not so different on some of their policies. They're night and day.
I will be heading to Washington, D.C. tomorrow to meet with President Trump in the White House. It is customary for an incoming mayor of this city to meet with the White House, given the mutual reliance. It's more critical than ever, given the national crisis of affordability, one that New Yorkers know very well across these 5 boroughs, and the specific challenge many cities are facing with balancing public safety against steps taken by this administration. I know that for tens of thousands of New Yorkers, this meeting is between 2 very different candidates who they voted for the same reason.
The same reason? Not really. I mean, yeah, President Trump, they picked because of the economy and because of the working man. They picked because they wanted law and order. I don't really think people who want law and order were voting for Zohran Mamdani. because that didn't really seem to be on the ballot, at least not in my opinion. Sure didn't seem that way. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. And here is Zohran Mamdani, by the way. He's a little more tame now because he's going into the White House. He'll go with his little smile and try to talk to President Trump. But here is Zohran Mamdani on the campaign trail. And his whole campaign was Trump, Trump, Trump. Boy, he epitomized and still has Trump derangement syndrome.
So the New York Times reported that Trump spoke with Cuomo on the phone, actually last month, and about the mayoral race. Now, Cuomo's denied this conversation took place, but this is the New York Times reporting. And as I pointed out a few moments ago, Trump has been very clear on who he backs, but it actually goes farther than that, right? He has attacked you personally and publicly like this.
He's not a socialist. He's a communist, okay? This is not a socialist, man. This is a communist.
I don't like to see a communist become mayor, I will tell you that.
I call him my little communist. He's my little communist mayor. We should never be in a position where we're talking about a communist.
We're going to end up with a communist mayor. It's not even believable, my beautiful New York. I think if a communist takes over New York City, I think that's a gift to the Republican Party.
Last time you were on this program, you were unequivocal in saying you do not like capitalism. But Trump, just in those remarks there, I counted, called you a communist 8 times. Are you?
No. I'm a Democratic Socialist. I've said that time and again. And I think it reflects the fact that whereas that identity would have been enough for Donald Trump in the past, now he doesn't even want to use that because he knows that the message of my politics is one that is connecting with New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. It's a message of dignity in each and every person's life. And what we're seeing in these clips and what we're seeing in what Donald Trump says is he's going through the many stages of grief. First, it's denial that this could ever take place. Now it's acceptance. And still through it all, he is looking to use every tool at his disposal to help Andrew Cuomo become the next mayor of the city.
This is a guy who thinks he's like the psychologist, I guess. You know, Trump going through the stages of grief. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Stan in Forest Hills, line 3. Go ahead, Stan.
Yes, can you hear me?
I sure can, loud and clear. Turn the volume up. Go ahead.
Okay. I know what you mean. Anyway,
go ahead.
Let me say this right off the bat. Tomorrow, this is probably in the history of this country, the most absurd meeting in the history of this country. One on the far left, total liar of what he's going to do, and one on the MAGA right, who's been a complete liar most of his existence as president and so forth. And these two idiots are going to sit down. Now, we both know Donald Trump will try to take him down 5 or 6 pegs or maybe 10 pegs.
And he should.
Well, yeah, I agree. The question is, what will this guy do? I think this guy thinks he has nothing to lose. In a private meeting, which there'll be, right, there's first the private meeting, and then there's the public when they sit down. That's when we'll find out what they have to say. But in the private meeting, I think Mandani will probably seek, as crazy as it is, I'd like to work with you. We can work on certain things. Trump will say, well, I have to watch you, and blah, 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 blah. But the public meeting, you know he's going to open his mouth.
By the way, if there is a public meeting, and I say that, Stan, we don't know yet. I would imagine Trump will want that public meeting just because I think, like you said, it's just such a wild moment. Now, I got to go back to what you first said. You said, why do you think Trump is a liar? You said he's a proven liar. Give me a break.
Go on the list. Give me a break. But
but I just want to try to figure out where you're going.
Liar. Mandani is an absolute liar. He can't do 90% of what he's going to do. You know it, and I know it.
And he also said, I never said I'm going to even just say it as
basic
as
he's a liar.
He never said I didn't. I never said defund the police. It's in writing.
Absolutely.
I mean, Mandani clearly said it. Obviously,
no, he's right. He's lied about everything.
Right, but for you to be putting Mandani on the same level as Trump, come on, Stan.
I didn't put them on the same level.
You said they're both liars. That's not true.
Telling facts and telling the truth. And he's par with him on that.
How did Trump lie? I'm missing that. How did he lie?
I don't, because he's lied about a lot of things.
You can't even list one. What did he lie about?
I can list them. There's so many. I can't remember all of them.
I guess you can't remember any of them because you seem to be at an amiss right now.
Peace in the Middle East. That's really going to happen.
Well, so far it's been a lot better. And I guess what I guess Biden got all those hostages out.
We're not talking about Biden. We're talking about
what Trump did, and you won't even give him credit for the fact that he got all the hostages out.
When there's real peace.
Are you kidding me? He got 20 hostages out.
You got those people standing behind them at this
Stan,
agreement.
Stan, you have to be kidding me.
Saudi Arabia,
Stan, you're Jewish, right? You're Jewish.
You know that, yes.
All right,
ma'am.
so won't you at least give him credit that he got the hostages? I don't care if you're Jewish or not. The whole world.
Absolutely.
I had tears in my eyes when he had those hostages out. You won't even give him credit for that.
Wait a minute. Let me
he could walk on water. He could cure cancer, and you would not appreciate it. He could cure cancer, and you would say, "Is that it?"
He can't cure cancer. You know it, and I know it. So
I'm saying that to you because you have Trump derangement syndrome.
That'd be better.
You have TDS, Trump derangement syndrome.
TVD, Trump verbal diarrhea. That's what you listen to. TVD, Trump verbal diarrhea. But the point is, the meeting tomorrow.
That's a good one, Stan.
The meeting tomorrow will be. I said there's two meetings. The one private, you know that, and the one public when they're sitting out there.
Or it might be the reverse. It might be sometimes. This is what's interesting. Let me give you a little context, Dan, because this is interesting. We don't know yet. Truly, we don't know yet. We know the meeting's taking place in the afternoon, all that, but we don't know. We've seen different machinations, and it really depends on the White House. It depends Trump. It depends, what sort of the situation is, the mood is. Sometimes they'll do they may do a meeting and just put out pictures afterwards and then talk about what happened. They may sit down next to each other and then allow the cameras to come in.
Isn't that usually what he does? Isn't that usually he sits down after and they both sit down? You see leaders. So I'm guessing that's what's going to happen.
But hang on. Here's why this may be a little different. I think because it's Mandani and Trump is saying, yeah, sure, I'll meet with anybody. I mean, I do give him credit for doing this, and it is the mayor of New York, and he cares about New York and all that stuff. So I think he will probably allow some form of it. But I also want to say there have been meetings where you put out pictures later, and often when you see these two people sitting side by side, often it's Trump and another world leader.
Correct.
I mean, and this is not a world leader. This is a mayor-elect of New York and a Democratic Socialist.
You're right. But you know what? I think he wants to sit next to him. I think I know this, and you know it. Trump is going to try to put him down on the cat. You know it.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I agree.
To see but I want to also see what Mandani says, I mean, this is his opportunity to really, on the national stage, as much as it's going to be, to see how he deals with Trump. And that should be two sparring pretty good. But you might be absolutely correct. It may be nothing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think there'll be a little bit of that. That's my feeling too, Stan. And I'll be honest, because I think the temptation's too great to not want to have sort of this moment. And I think we'll see a Mandani, kind of trying to hold his own a little bit, smiling.
He'll be nervous.
Smiling, with his little smile and a little bit,
smile, yes. What a moronic smile. That I've got. It's like I've got you. I've got you. That type of stupidity. It's unbelievable. But I agree with you. I think that's what's going to happen in this meeting. I'm going to watch it. I want to see who. I think definitely. I know Trump will try to put him in his place. I think he will. And, he may say things and so forth. In that regard, I want to hear that. Yes, I want to hear that.
Stan,
absolutely.
Stan, will you do me a favor? You got to call back tomorrow night.
I will
so we can compare notes.
I hope you take my call.
I always will. Stan, thank you very, very much. Let's go to Matt in the Bronx on line 4. Go ahead, Matt. Matt? All right, Matt, we don't need to hear your breathing. Let's go to Max in Manhattan. If you're not on the line, too bad. Go ahead, Max.
Rita, thank you for taking my call. Sometime back, there was some preachers were passing out some gospels at Dearborn, Michigan, near a mosque. They got arrested. when they got arrested, there was a policeman that confided in these pastors that some months before, there were about 3 Muslim women who had been beheaded by their Muslim husbands. And after that, within the police department of Dearborn, this was all swept under the rug.
So what's your point? Obviously, this is extreme behavior.
What's my point? These are 3 women, Muslim women who got decapitated.
No. By the way, I get what you're saying. It's horrible. My point is this, do you believe that this is clearly a wake-up call to very extreme behavior? And you look at honor killings and all these things that they call it, which I don't believe has any honor to it. But some very severe behavior. And you're right. This is sort of this radical Islamist behavior that we have to be very concerned about. And there are a lot of them there in Dearborn, right?
Yes. And if you want to see the details, which is even more shocking, tune in to Carl Higbee, Newsmax, interviews David Wood.
All right. I'll check it out. I'll check it out wherever it is. But what I will say to you is, most importantly, obviously, there's some very extreme behavior, and it is downright frightening what's happening, and especially as you bring up to women, too. It is so horrific to see the repressive and the violent behavior as you're talking about. Thank you very much, because we need to shine a light on that, too. 1-800-848-9222, and we'll continue your calls, everybody, after the break.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.
Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
I turned off news altogether.
I hate to say it, but I don't trust much of anything.
It's the rage bait.
It feels like it's trying to divide people.
If we got clear facts, maybe we can calm down a little.
NBC News brings you clear reporting. Let's meet at the facts. Let's move forward from there. NBC News, reporting for America.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
This is the Rita Cosby Show.
And let's go to your calls, guys. Let's go to Judith in Brooklyn, line 5. Go ahead, Judith.
Hi. Happy belated birthday, by the way, Rita.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was great to be with you guys on it. Thank you.
Terrific. I love the way Liz celebrated your birthday.
I know, that was cute. That was great.
That was really very funny. So listen, let's get serious. So here's the deal. As far as I'm concerned, I think Mandani needs Trump, not the other way around. Trump does not need Mandani, okay?
Yep.
So, and honestly, maybe I'm hoping this, but between four eyes, privately, I think Trump will read him the Riot Act and tell him to shove his anti-Semitic agenda and hatred back where it belongs, leave it alone, leave 600 businesses that deal with Israel alone, people that do business, whatever. There's like 1,200,000 Jews in this place, New York, okay?
Now, let me ask you, do you think he'll do that privately or publicly?
Yeah, between four eyes, privately, absolutely privately. He's going to tell him, protect all New Yorkers, including Jews, and make sure you pick up the garbage, and when it's snowy days, make sure the roads are clean.
Hey, that's a good point. or else, right? You forgot the or else part.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana. This is a real good story about Bronx and his dad, Ryan, real United Airlines customers.
We were returning home, and one of the flight attendants asked Bronx if he wanted to see the flight deck and meet Captain Andrew.
I got to sit in the driver's seat.
I grew up in an aviation family, and seeing Bronx kind of reminded me of myself when I was that age.
That's Andrew, a real United pilot.
These small interactions can shape a kid's future.
It felt like I was the captain.
Allowing my son to see the flight deck will stick with us forever.
That's how good leads the way.
Grabbing the holidays by the boughs with Duluth. Step 1. Hire a mall Santa to handle snow removal.
Ho, ho, ho! My sciatica.
Step 2. Hit Duluth Trading and load up on fire hose pants, buck naked underwear, pocket pack bibs, free swinging flannel, and all kinds of ingenious gear you won't find anywhere else. Grab the holidays by the boughs and shop Duluth Trading. Online and in store.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. New players, new games, new rules. Squid Game, The Challenge returns for a gripping second season. 456 contestants from all walks of life, competing in the ultimate test of strategy, alliances, and endurance. For a life-changing prize of $4.56 million. With stakes this high, why make friends when you can make millions? Catch up on the latest episodes, now playing only on Netflix.
Rita Cosby is on.
Well, some people may not love him. Some people may feel very, very disconcerted with his policies. And I think a lot of people rightly have to when you look at some of the policies of Zohran Mamdani. And yes, he's going to be meeting with President Trump. I cannot believe it. He's going to be meeting with him in a matter of hours. And here is Zohran Mamdani, because throughout his campaign, he has been just full of bluster when it comes to President Trump. Everything is like Trump, 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 Trump. And here he is talking big and bad on how he's going to block President Trump. This was not that long ago.
Look, Donald Trump ran on 3 promises. He ran on creating the single largest deportation force in American history. He ran on going after his political enemies, and he ran on lowering the cost of living. If he wants to talk to me about the 3rd piece of that agenda, I will always be ready and willing. But if he wants to talk about how to pursue the 1st and 2nd piece of that agenda at the expense of New Yorkers, I will fight him every single step of the way.
Okay. Short rebuttal from
I want to, who are these people clapping? Does that sound like a guy who's coming to be polite and kind to the President of the United States? All right. So then here he is. He's on The View with the ladies of The View. And he's talking about how President Trump said, you know, if this guy keeps up with these communist, socialist, crazy policies, well, we may not want to send money there because the money's just going to go down the drain. He's talking about federal dollars. The president holds the purse strings. And this is what Zohran Mamdani said not that long ago when he was meeting with the ladies of The View about Trump withholding funds to places like New York.
He says that he'll withhold, this really is something. Trump says that he will withhold federal funding for New York City if you win. Can he do that, number one? And my question is that going to stop people from voting for you?
You know, this is just one of the many threats that Donald Trump makes. Every day he wakes up, he makes another threat, a lot of the times about the city that he actually comes from. And what is angering to me is not what Donald Trump does, because we've come to expect that from him. But it's the idea that we have to accept that as the law. the idea that we have to accept that as normal. We have to fight that because we know not only is it an overreach from a federal administration, it's an example of what he's done elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know, in California, he's spoken about withholding federal funding. The attorney general there has estimated that for every dollar they spend in legal fees, they've won more than $30,000 back in funds they would have lost. I'm proud and lucky to say that here in New York we have an incredible attorney general, Tish James, who's been on the front lines of that same fight.
Does that sound like a guy who's coming to be having a little humble pie? We'll see. Will the real Zohran Mamdani please stand up? And, of course, we know how President Trump feels about Zohran Mamdani. He doesn't hold back. He keeps saying the same old thing. Donald Trump, he tells it like it is.
Mr. President, see these buildings? A lot of them in New York City you built.
I do.
That's called capitalism, not socialism. We have Mamdani, who is ahead in the polls here. What's your reaction?
It's amazing.
It's up by 20.
I call him my little communist. He's my little communist mayor.
So tomorrow, it is the communist and the ultra-capitalist meeting in the Oval Office tomorrow afternoon. And it will be fascinating just to, if we get in, if the cameras get in, I would imagine there'll be some moments of it just to see the body language. I cannot wait. This will truly be a meeting that will be like no other when you think about with President Trump. Meeting with a guy who is soon to be the mayor of President Trump's hometown, the town he loves, the town he grew up in, the town he helped build. And now he's got this guy who is talking about taking over grocery stores, taxing the white neighborhoods, defunding the police, opening up the jail cells, withholding funds to anybody tied to Israel. It is shocking. It's 2025, and Democratic Socialists are about to take over in New York. And the only thing that's going to keep them in check is Governor Hochul, which I'm not sure she will, and clearly President Trump, who will certainly be able to do at least some things to rein in this guy and his very, very extreme policies. Boy, oh boy. Let's go to Mike in New Jersey. Mike, what's ahead tomorrow?
Well, hi, I'm a first-time caller, and I listen to you. And
great. I'm so glad you're calling in. That's awesome.
I used to like watching The Apprentice show, and this is going to be an apprentice meeting. I think this guy's going to walk in, and this is my vision. This is what I think the problems are. And President Trump says, well, you're the mayor now. Go out there and solve them. What do you want from me? He says, and Trump will say, hey, if I think your solutions are no good and you're creating problems, don't expect me to send money in there when I know that's not the answer. And that's going to be it.
Yeah, see, I think he's going to try to maybe be positive, at least at first. He's going to listen to the guy and he's going to say, listen, these things don't make sense. And as long as you do X, and X right by the city, then I'll do my part and try to support you as much as I can because I love New York and appreciate New York. He's never going to say I agree with you or anything like that. But I think he'll try to stay positive. But then if the guy says, well, and then President Trump will go, whoa, what did you say there? You know, but I could see him trying to take a little bit of the high road. Listen, if you abide by this, we have an understanding. If you abide by this, I'll do this. If you don't do this, well, then we have an understanding that the federal government may have to step in. I know President Trump, listen, he knows who this guy is. He has seen so much about this guy. He's being schooled on this guy. And I don't think it serves President Trump not to be brutally honest with him. I think he has to be brutally honest, not just for New York, but for America, because you don't want to also look like this guy is, has the bona fides to be in there. And this guy has said so much bluster about the president. To me, and the problem that's interesting also with Zohran Mamdani, Mike, this guy is a true believer. There are some people that you kind of say, oh, well, we can meld a little bit. We can do this. We can do that. We can do, we'll kind of work together on this. This guy seems like he is a diehard. I don't really see him wavering from some of his, to me, extremely radical, fanatical beliefs. like he's not going to send the strategic response group to crack down. He doesn't want them to be out there on the scene of protests because he thinks they're free speech. If you're shouting, death to Israel and threatening Jewish students, he thinks that's free speech. And I don't see him wavering too much because this guy started the Students for Justice of Palestine when he was in college. This is the group that's behind a lot of these protests. So he's a true believer. He's not being led. He's leading them. And he's going to want to try to show his group and his followers that he can hold his own. So that's why it will be really interesting to see this. Typically, and then I think at one point Trump is going to look and go, excuse me, just a moment. I'm speaking. I'm the president of the United States. You're a mayor of the city. I love your city, but you better do right by my city or else. I think that it's going to be fascinating. And I think body experts, just looking at the language, that alone will be interesting. Who's he going to bring in the meeting? Is he going to bring the imam, who essentially said, I guess things were okay. What happened in the World Trade Center in 1993, the first bombing? Praising the person who was essentially behind it. Is he going to bring somebody like that there in the meeting? Boy, you got to vet those people, too. I hate to say it. And this guy, you think he's ever going to get the credentials to be able to get, terrorism briefings? That's the other thing, Mike. Would you want to give terrorism briefings with secret intelligence to the mayor, this mayor of New York? That's a serious question. What do you think? Yes or no?
Yes, I think he'll bring people in, but he'll also sit there at the desk and Mandani will be talking and he'll say, "Hold on a second, I got to take a phone call." Yeah, I got to order. I got to order my groceries. I got to do errands. Hold on a second. You're right. I think he should do that. He should treat him like the gnat in many ways that he is. Let's go to Joseph in Manhattan, line 2. Go ahead, Joseph.
American President Trump, take off that boxing gloves, arrest Mandani, and that communist George Soros, treason against America, questionable foreign election money, all those other things, that the scam about ranked choice voting by communist Democrats, no identification ID, and tomorrow I want the American Congress to vote against socialism, communism. God bless America. God bless you, Rita.
Thank you, Joseph. And by the way, I don't think he's going to arrest Mandani. He can't do that. But the House, it will be interesting to see who at that same time, the House of Representatives is going to be voting and debating a resolution condemning socialism. And it will be interesting to see who on the Democratic side has their common sense about them and condemns it. Or does somebody get up there and praise it? Who knows? It's going to be a wild day in Washington, that's for sure. Let's go to Joaquin on line 4. Go ahead, Joaquin, your thoughts.
Hey, good evening, Rita. I got to say, I enjoyed Mike's opening statements. I agree with him 100% that he should let Mandani flounder if he fails. And, and of course, you know what my plan is. Hopefully I get credit for it if it actually happens. But, when it comes to the affordability issue, you see, this is tied directly to the illegal migrants that have flooded our blue cities. Because if you think about it, even I heard somebody bring this up as far as the cost of housing goes, because they've been putting all these migrants into whatever housing there isn't paying for it. It's been driving the prices of housing up and making it scarce. Okay. Also, too, these illegal migrants, they happen to drive down the wages. And then the other thing, too, is the burden on the social system. So they're working for less money. And then because they're working for less money, then they're going on to the social services, and it's collapsing, all these blue cities in particular, the states, their social programs. So that whole thing about affordability, that's all tied into into illegal immigration.
Right. And by the way, on the flip side, you look at Mandani, who's part of the sort of come one, come all, and he wants free buses, and he wants free child care. So, I mean, how can you afford all of these things? That's why it's so completely unrealistic. And he's also on the flip side from the public safety. That's the affordability chunk. On the public safety chunk, and listen, we all want things to be cheaper. I heard the other day turkey's cheaper for Thanksgiving this year, but the stuffing and filling is not. Everybody deserves to have things more affordable, and in places like New York, Pennsylvania, where you are, prices are very high. So I do understand that. But you couple that with these these promises that he simply can't fulfill without, destroying New York and increasing the taxes so much, especially to businesses that are driving people out to make it even more more unaffordable for people. The flip side is also the public safety. If you degrade public safety, which I believe will happen tremendously under him, because I think, first of all, police are so disgusted that this guy is going to be the mayor. They're so concerned. And you couple that also with the fact that he's talking about getting rid of the strategic response group. He wants to send a social worker versus a cop to certain scenes. All of these things. He doesn't want to clamp down on the protests. You put all those things together, that is a destruction to the quality of life. So you're taxing more. You're pulling everybody more. You're driving businesses and taxpayers away. You're drawing those people who will get freebies left and right and maybe not even contribute. You're drawing them. You'll be a magnet to them, and you're degrading public safety. That's like a nightmare scenario, don't you think, Joaquin? It's that combination of all three things at once that really is frightening.
Yes, it is. It is. Hopefully everything goes well tomorrow and goes the way that I'm hoping it goes. But unfortunately, even when it comes down to Tish James, I think that Mamdani has plans, because I saw somebody online, a Muslim officer, saying that Mandani really wants to install people, Muslims or progressives that will arrest Zionists, so I don't know. And as a woman, I came across something on social media that should scare the heck out of you. A Muslim man was saying this, okay? He says that if you're a man and you're against Sharia, you must be gay, because under Sharia, you're allowed to have 4 wives. You can divorce any wife that will. And then also, too, you can reprimand your wife if she doesn't do what you tell her to do. So, well,
that really sounds like 2025 America, right?
Exactly right. This is the thing. This is people really need to wake up to the threat of it. And I know you say about moderate Islam, but the problem is that no matter where you look around the world, where has Islam made life any better for anybody? You look at Europe, what's going on there right now, and when it comes down to Europe, I got to tell you, I'm more afraid. And also, what I differentiate, though, Joaquin, is I differentiate between peaceful Muslims and fanatics. Those who are Islamists, and that's where it's scary. Those who believe America deserved 9/11. Those who, like you talked about with the Sharia law, it is really frightening. And the aspects, this Democratic Socialist of America, you look at their platform, it's all anti-Israel. And he's even said that he would still arrest Netanyahu. I mean, this is frightening stuff. You're right. America's got to wake up. And that's why this meeting tomorrow will certainly be watched thoroughly. We're going to continue, you guys. Joaquin, thank you very much. We're going to continue after the break, everybody. 1-800-848-9222. But first, support our heroes.
The Rita Cosby Show presents Support Our Heroes.
And this is the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Support Our Heroes segment with a powerful story from Cobb County, Georgia, where a celebration at a school turned into a wonderful surprise for one fourth grader. Students at an elementary school in Powder Springs gathered for the school's program to honor those who are serving or who have served in the U.S. Armed Forces. And the principal called one of the performers, Amari Gore, to the front to watch a video from his dad. His dad is a master sergeant who's been serving in Iraq for the last 6 months as a member of the Air Force Reserves. He sent in a video. Well, then Amari got a big surprise. The principal said, we have a special visitor today. And then the Master Sergeant Gore walked into the room. The son was absolutely shocked, taking a moment before tearfully running up to hug his father. It was one of those beautiful emotions and beautiful reunions between the Master Sergeant and his young son during a special veterans celebration at that elementary school. And of course, everybody in the crowd was clapping. The son said, I was so surprised, as he was constantly hugging his dad, who came back to surprise him. I love that. And everybody, all it takes is just $11 a month. Donate $11 a month to the incredible Tunnel to Towers Foundation. I love this organization. They do such great work. Be sure to check them out at t2t.org, T2T.org.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Komm du Norsk?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
You don't technically need this car. You say that out loud to yourself. You say, I have no space. You say, I'm just looking. Then you click. Then you zoom in on photo number 87 and whisper, oh no. Then you text a friend, the one who always enables you. You say to yourself, this is the last one, knowing it is not. You don't need this car. But maybe, just maybe, this car needs you. Bring a trailer. It's never just a car.
Hi, I'm Jim. I'm not an actor, just a guy living with prostate cancer. My wife and I face each day head on. We asked my doctor about Xtandi enzalutamide.
Xtandi 40 milligram tablets treats men with prostate cancer that has spread to other parts of the body and responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache.
Visit Xtandi.com to watch my story.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.
And let's continue with your calls. Zohran Mamdani meeting Trump tomorrow afternoon at the White House. Let's go to Nick in Virginia, line 2. What do you think's going to happen, Nick?
I think Trump's going to stand him up. I think he's going to make him sit in a room for an hour and then bring J.D. Vance in and apologize and say, Mr. Trump wants you to read several books before he meets with you. One would be the Old Testament, so you know what the Jewish footprint is in history. The other would be Andrew Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the other 2 books would be Bill O'Reilly's latest book and also Mark Levin's book, American Marxism.
Oh, that would be interesting. And then what, say, come back after you've read them and you've passed your test?
Absolutely. Come back when, in February, maybe we'll talk.
Yeah, I think, by the way, in all seriousness, and by the way, I would love that if he did do that. I think what he will do is maybe he might make him wait a little bit. And I think he should make him wait a little bit. And I know one of you guys earlier said maybe he'll pick up a call, say, oh, yeah. Could you guys deliver pizza? Oh, yeah, let me pick up my laundry. Let me do this. I can't wait to see the dynamics between the two. It'll be interesting how public it becomes or not. We'll talk about it tomorrow night, guys.
Thanks for listening to The Rita Cosby Show. You can hear The Rita Cosby Show weeknights at 10 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?